Broncos Country, what I just saw on Sunday was absolutely insane. Did you see that out-of-this-world performance from Talanoa Hufanga in the opener? Man, I'm still processing what happened at Empower Field at Mile High. This man came to Denver and made it clear right away why he was one of the best signings of free agency. But hold on, because things get even crazier when you find out the details of this monster performance. Folks, before I continue, let me pause here for a second. If you breathe orange and blue, if you live and die for the Denver Broncos, you need to hit that subscribe button now. Because this is where Broncos Country meets every day to talk about our beloved team. Hit the notification bell too, because you can't miss anything that happens in the Broncos universe. So, family, let's get to the facts. Hufanga made 10 tackles against the Titans. That's right, 10. The guy was literally everywhere on the field at the same time. And get this, Bo Nix even joked after the game saying it seemed like Hufanga made every tackle in the first quarter. And you know why? Because it really did seem that way, but it doesn't stop there. This safety who came from the 49ers wasn't just making tackles, he was destroying any attempt by the Titans to put together any offensive play. And when Tony Pollard, that experienced running back who's already rushed for over 1,000 yards in previous seasons, tried to advance into Broncos territory, guess what happened? Forced fumble! Hufanga came in hard and ripped the ball right out of Pollard's hands in a play that was crucial in determining the direction of that game. Brandon Jones was there to recover the ball, but full credit goes to Hufanga, who showed that aggressiveness every Broncos fan loves to see. Guys, can you understand the importance of that play? The Titans were in our territory, building a drive that could have resulted in points. In a game that ended 2012, every possession mattered big time, and Hufanga simply said, "Not happening, buddy." What impresses me most is how this guy instantly adapted to the Broncos' defensive system. That feeling when you see a player who was born to wear orange and blue? That's exactly what we're seeing with Hufanga. And speaking of defensive system, Broncos Country, did you notice how our defense is working like a well-oiled machine? Hufanga fit perfectly alongside Brandon Jones in the defensive backfield, and the two together are creating a practically impenetrable wall for opponents. The game reading that Hufanga showed on Sunday was from another planet. The guy anticipated the Titans' running plays as if he had a crystal ball. He flew toward the running backs with controlled aggression. That's the trademark of the league's best safeties. And just between us, family, when I saw Hufanga coming in on tackles with all that intensity, I was reminded of the great safeties who have worn our jersey over the years. This guy has that old-school mentality from that era when safeties came to really hurt. What caught my attention most was the intelligent way Hufanga positioned himself during plays. He wasn't just reacting to what was happening, he was anticipating. This shows a level of preparation and film study that only true professionals have. And did you see the instant chemistry between him and the rest of the defense? It looked like he'd been playing with those guys for years. That's the sign of a veteran who knows exactly what needs to be done, regardless of the system or teammates around him. Now, let me say something here. Broncos Country, this Hufanga signing is proving to be one of the best decisions the front office made in the last offseason. The guy cost practically nothing compared to the impact he's having on defense. And when I talk about impact, it's not just in statistical numbers. It's in the energy he brought to the entire defensive group. Did you notice how the other players reacted when he made that forced fumble? Everyone celebrated like it was a touchdown. That's the mentality we needed in our defense. Someone who turns big defensive plays into moments of pure adrenaline for the entire team. And Hufanga is doing exactly that. But let's talk about the technical aspects too, because it's not just hitting and aggression. The 10 tackles Hufanga made on Sunday were clean tackles, accurate, without giving attackers a second chance. This shows a refined technical level that you only see in the best, and that tackle on Tony Pollard that resulted in the fumble, it was a perfect mix of timing, technique, and strength. Hufanga waited for the exact moment to dislodge the ball, without committing a foul, without giving the running back a chance to protect himself. Textbook example of how to force a fumble. Broncos Country. Can you imagine what it means to have a safety of this caliber protecting our secondary? Opposing quarterbacks will have to think twice before trying plays through the middle of the field, because they know Hufanga will be there to intercept or, at minimum, make that tackle that hurts the soul. And don't forget, this was just his first game wearing our jersey. Imagine when he's 100% in sync with Vance Joseph's defensive system. It's going to be pure terror for the offenses we face. Another thing that really impressed me was how Hufanga communicated with his teammates during the game. Did you notice him directing other players, adjusting positioning, being that commanding voice every defense needs? This shows we didn't just sign a talented player. We signed a leader. And leadership is something you can't buy. Can't teach, you either have it or you don't, and Hufanga definitely has it. And let's be honest here. Family, our secondary needed someone with this mentality, someone who's not afraid to come in hard, who doesn't back down when it's time for physical confrontation, who turns every tackle into a statement of intentions. The coolest part is that Hufanga is bringing this energy to younger players on our defense too. Did you see how Patrick Surtain II reacted during the game? He seemed even more motivated having a veteran of this level beside him. Now, Broncos Country, let's talk about the elephant in the room. This Hufanga performance happened in a game where our offense is still finding its rhythm. Imagine when we have Bo Nix playing at his best level and a dominant defense commanded by guys like Hufanga. By the way, I found it very interesting how Bo Nix praised Hufanga after the game. Even the quarterback recognized that the safety saved the team's skin in some crucial moments. This creates mutual confidence between offense and defense that's fundamental for success. And speaking of confidence, did you notice how Hufanga played without any nervousness? Debut on a new team, packed stadium, high expectations, and the guy played like he'd been at home for years. That's a champion's mentality. Another point that caught my attention was the impressive physical condition Hufanga displayed. 10 tackles in an NFL game is something for an athlete in perfect physical condition. And he did it while maintaining intensity from the first to the last snap. Broncos Country, can you feel that something special is happening with our defense? We have young talents developing and experienced veterans, like Hufanga, bringing that wisdom from someone who's played in the playoffs and knows what real pressure is, and we can't forget this. Performance happened against the Titans, who have a respectable offensive line and running backs who know what they're doing. It wasn't against an amateur team. It was against NFL professionals who were giving their all to win. What excites me most is thinking about this defense's potential throughout the season. If Hufanga could have this impact already in the first game, imagine when he's even more in sync with the schemes, when the chemistry with teammates is even better. And here's a reflection. Family, how many times have we seen signings that seemed promising on paper but didn't work in practice? With Hufanga, it's the opposite. He's exceeding even the most optimistic expectations we had. That forced fumble on Tony Pollard will be remembered as one of the first great moments of the Hufanga era with the Broncos. It was a play that completely changed the dynamics of that Titans drive and showed everyone what kind of impact this guy can have. And let's agree on something. After years of seeing our defense sometimes lacking aggression in crucial moments, having a guy like Hufanga brings that peace of mind that we'll always have someone willing to get into physical confrontation when necessary. Broncos Country, I want to hear from you. What was the moment you liked most from Hufanga's debut? Was it the forced fumble? Was it the consistency in tackles? Was it the leadership on the field? Comment below because I want to read all your opinions. And don't forget, this is just the first of many spectacular performances we're going to see from Hufanga in our jersey. The guy came to stay and came to make a difference. Next week, against the Colts, I'm sure he'll continue showing why he was one of the best signings of the offseason. If you enjoyed this content, leave that like, share it with all your Broncos Country friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. This is where the passion for the Broncos never stops. Denver Broncos family, Hufanga arrived to elevate our defense's level even more. And with performances like this debut, I'm sure we're seeing the beginning of something very special. Until next time, and bring on the next games to see more of this show. Go Broncos!